way, it's Sean Shapiro, here we go. Knows the road rules better than most folks know. Ask your questions, bring the heat or keep it chill. He's got the answers and a license to spill. Ask a traffic cop, Sean's your guy. Breaking it down, no lie, no tie. Knows the stuff and things to keep you clear. Ask away, he's the voice you wanna hear. Badge, now a podcast star, navigating traffic laws near and far. Stop sign confusions or a signal light feud. Sean's the one to give you the right attitude. Yeah, ask your traffic cop, Sean's your guy. Breaking it down, no lie, no tie. Knows the stuff and things to keep you clear. Ask away, he's the voice you wanna hear. From this man. Ask a traffic cop, Sean's your guy. Breaking it down, no lie, no tie. Knows the stuff and things to keep you clear. You wanna hear. Yeah, he's the voice you wanna hear. Yeah, tune in, listen up, he's got your reply. Sean Shapiro making rules simplified.
I love it. I love that song. That's my favorite song, maybe because it's my song. How you doing? Good morning. It is Wednesday, the 6th of August, 2025. My name is Sean Shapiro. I have energy because I had about a liter of coffee. Coffee is good stuff. I enjoyed it. Instant coffee. I don't know why, but lately I'm on an instant coffee trip. Like, I have stopped brewing coffee. I've stopped using K-Cups. I've stopped using I've got tons of coffee from Nespresso. I've got a multitude of machines, and the coffee that I'm enjoying drinking the most is an imported instant coffee. It's weird. I don't know why. Can't explain it. It's just a thing. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a great night. If you joined me last night, welcome back. If you didn't know I was on last night, we were live streaming for about an hour and 45 minutes from 9 p.m. Eastern until almost 10 o'clock. Almost 11 o'clock. Yeah, almost 2 hours. And that's what happens. I try and do an hour, and inevitably things get good, and we get into lots of stuff and things, and it's fantastic. So shout out to everyone who was in the live stream yesterday. It was fun. Why am I putting that on screen? TPS, Toronto Police Service Careers, TPS/careers. If you're looking to become a member of a Toronto Police Service, the best police service anywhere, well, then check out the website, because if you go there, you might see what jobs are currently available. Paul says, hello, Sean. Good morning, all. Paul is an awesome dude and recently celebrated a birthday. We all tend to celebrate birthdays until we don't. And I got a chance to see Paul before his birthday. I got to text him for his birthday. And I don't think I've spoken to him since his birthday. So happy belated again. Follow-up message from the text. Okay. If you've got questions about traffic safety, traffic law, and police stuff, then please put them into the chat. That is where I get to see them and respond to them. If you don't put them in the chat, I won't see them. I won't respond to them. You'll feel it's weird. I did get a couple of voicemail messages after the live stream last night. So I have two questions that I've not yet downloaded. So they're going to have to wait until Tuesday to respond to on the show. And I'll respond to them directly in advance of that. But the point is, if you want to ask questions and you want to do it by way of voice, like you want to send me voicemail, you can go to askatrafficcop.ca. If you do that, here, I'll just put it on the screen. Askatrafficcop.ca. Let's share this for you. It makes life so much easier when I have the visuals. There you go. Okay. So you got askatrafficcop.ca. You can watch shows there, but okay, here's the real thing. You hit voicemail, send me a voicemail, and look at that. Start recording. You hit the button, you record a message. I can respond to you directly electronically, as well as use that for future shows. If your questions are really awesome, it might be featured in an upcoming video. So that is for you because I already know the answers. But if you want to know the answers about stuff and things, so you avoid, getting charged for stuff you didn't know was a thing. Do the work in advance. Ask the questions. All right. You know what? Since we're here, let's look at careers. Toronto Police careers page. If you go here, tps.ca/careers, you can learn about all the different positions that they have available. Police constable, of course, is the one that most people are inquiring about, but there's lots of ways to serve your community working for an amazing employer with great benefits and all that jazz. And you don't have to wear a uniform. You can do that as a communications operator and all sorts of other civilian roles. And hey, if you're looking to have a volunteer position, which is how I started with the service 25 years ago, you can become an auxiliary officer, wear a uniform, get some training, get out and help people. But you're not a police officer. It's a great way to give back. It's the most unique volunteer experience. Anyway, here's the listings for civilian jobs, communication operator, which I mentioned already. Those are the magical people who answer the telephone call when you need help. They also, on the other side of the desk, other side of the office, they divide the floor. One half is answering calls for 911. The other half is dispatching police officers to actually get them to where you need them. Yeah, it's amazing. They're very hardworking. They're the unsung heroes, and they're awesome. Then they're looking for a workplace investigator in respectful workplace. I guess that's a division now. They're looking for a senior operational auditor, audit and quality assurance Python, a supervisor in claims. It's wellness. So when people are making claims of their benefits, I imagine, and finance project specialist. All of those sound like I don't want them, but at the same time, I left this 9 to 5 business. But maybe you want to get into the 9 to 5 business or any other kind of thing, and this could be perfect for you. Well, if you don't apply, you'll never find out how awesome it could have been. Oops, wrong button. Wrong button. Come on, I want to stop. Oh, that's what it is. I press the button that says stop sharing. Jerry Agar is not on the show today. It's the wrong button. Hey, if you want to know how we do this show, aside from the fact that I show up online to do the show, it is due in part to the support of magical people like Diamond and Diamond Lawyers. They are actually financially contributing to the show. What does that mean? What do I need money for? Well, I don't work for the police service anymore. I started a not-for-profit organization, and that not-for-profit organization is trying to change the world. We want to make roads safer everywhere. It's called the Canadian Organization for Better Traffic Safety and Education, and that is who Diamond and Diamond Lawyers are supporting. And part of the Better Traffic Initiative is to put on the show, Ask a Traffic Cop, and we're trying to grow, yo. So if you want to contribute, you can do it lots of ways. You can go to askatrafficcop.ca. You can use our affiliate links to buy stuff on Amazon. I've got some safety products listed there. I think they're great. If you want to buy them there, we make a small percentage. And it is not going in my pocket. It's going in the not-for-profit organization's pocket to try and pay for things like the internet bill, the software for streaming, and so on and so forth. But if you believe in what I do and you want to keep doing it, you can use those affiliate links. Doesn't cost you anything extra. And if you don't want to do that, you can also just give us money. There's a PayPal link or buy me a coffee link. So with that, let's get on to your questions and stuff and things. We got Brandon who's back. He's in Orlando again. He says, good morning, Sean and all from Orlando, Florida. Let's all have a safe, positive, and fantastic day. He's doing a community lunch with Orlando Police, Orange County Sheriff, and first responders, so can only stay for a bit. Well, give them a shout out. When I was in Orlando a while back, I went out and visited them. Sadly, I think that the officer, the lieutenant that I hung out with, is likely retired because he was on the cusp. But I want to get back down there. I met their traffic unit. I went out and saw the fine folks who run their traffic unit. I was given a tour of their establishment, maybe their unit, their base, their station. They're a great organization. And if I was able to work in the States as a police officer, I would be out there applying to the sheriff's office. And I might do it as a reserve. Now, I don't qualify to do it, and I don't live there. But if I did, if I was a citizen, I would totally be a reserve officer with the Orange County police and or I should say sheriff's office. You said Orange County, yeah, sheriff, yeah, Orlando Police, Orange County Sheriff. Good. Okay, it was the Orange County Sheriff's Office that I was at. In any case, they have a very interesting parking enforcement unit, ask them about it and their Luminas. They have, I'm pretty sure they're Luminas, which is an older car, but ask them about that. Okay, moving on. Moving on. Akela Draconis says, greetings and salutations, has a dad joke for later. If you have dad jokes, please throw them into the comments. I will be reading those at the end. I have a meeting at 11 o'clock, so I do have to have a hard end of the live stream, but we will try and keep this going as quickly and uninterruptedly as possible. Okay, moving on. Lisa says, has a question about being a G2 driver. Do I absolutely need insurance to drive someone's car, even if it's their car and they have insurance on it? This is a fantastic question that oddly enough gets people a lot. So the deal is that vehicles need insurance, not people. But some policies require people based on certain circumstances to be insured or policy listed on the policy. So let me give you a breakdown. I own a car. My vehicle is insured to me. Can I loan somebody else who's qualified to drive the car? Yes, I can. I loan the car and the insurance to them, and they drive. Now, let's say someone lives with me and I want them to drive the car. Then my insurance company will likely want them listed as a secondary driver because they're driving the car. They live with me. They have access to the vehicle. It's more than just once in a while. They need to be on the policy. It may not be an expensive addition to the policy to add them, but two things happen. One, it ensures they're covered. Two, it helps develop their long-term insurance profile. They get to create a history of driving. So it's beneficial to them. So if you have a child or a family member and they don't have insurance on anything, then it's good to have insurance there. You start building that relationship with the insurance company. Okay. The deal is that if you are not living with somebody, do you need to be on the policy? Well, if it's an occasional thing, you loan your vehicle or someone lends you as a G2 driver their vehicle to go to the corner store, do you need to call the insurance company first? No, you don't. And from a police perspective, none of that actually matters. Like, as long as you're a G2 driver and the vehicle is insured, you can drive it. The rigmarole I just described is all based on insurance company policies. And why is that important? Because if you break a policy, which is part of the contract that you signed to be a customer, they could always deny a claim. So if you are, Lisa, if you're living with somebody who has a car and they're letting you drive it all the time and you're not on the policy, well, let's say you get a crash up, the insurance company may say, we're not covering it. If you're watching, regardless of where you're watching, please follow, like, subscribe, share, because we're on a couple of different places. We're on LinkedIn, Instagram, X, TikTok, and of course, YouTube. And if you would be so kind, follow me on YouTube. VoiceOver Cop on YouTube is the channel, and we're trying to get to 1,000 followers. So we can get things like tech support. You don't get tech support on YouTube until you are at 1,000 followers. You also can't get monetized. Mind you, I've got a long way to go for monetization. But every follower helps. We're just trying to change the world one video and follower at a time. Okay. We got Jonathan. Oh, he says, when will the Toronto Police get an air support unit with helicopters, or will they only have drones? Well, they do have drones, and they do have shared access to resources that are helicopters. If you look back in the news last year or 2 years ago, the provincial government bought a number of helicopters for GTA police, and that's a shared program with Toronto, Peel, I think Halton. They share the resources. So a number of helicopters were purchased, and it doesn't make sense for Toronto police necessarily to have their own. I don't know. It's just expensive. And when we first had a temporary trial of a air unit back in 2001-ish, the residents of Toronto complained they were too noisy. Don't like these little, choppers making noise in the air. So they got rid of them. I don't know. And they were extremely expensive. But now there are helicopters that can be utilized for stuff and things. And yeah. It's a thing. But I they have officers that can go work the unit from Toronto, and they share the resources. Okie dokie. Darren Gofton says, if I have a tinted window medical exemption, can other people drive my tinted window car? Well, first of all, Darren, if you're in the province of Ontario, there is no tinted window exemption. The Ontario government or Ministry of Transportation does not have any exemption listed in the Highway Traffic Act for tinted windows. So if you have a doctor's note for them, that's going to be a discretion thing, one at a time. Every time a police officer pulls you over for having illegally tinted windows, they may choose to charge you or not. And if you've been pulled over for it and used that letter and have had good luck, then it's good luck. But again, there is no lawful exemption for tinted windows in the province of Ontario. And I would argue that no, if you were in an area that had a medical exemption, it would only apply to you who has the medical exemption. not to anybody else operating the car. That vehicle is an unsafe motor vehicle if you have tinted windows, at least ones that are beyond that of what is safety for securing like a license plate registration, because you can't have more than 30% light blockage on a window. Well, at least not the front two windows, and nothing on the windshield. So, and if you have anything on the windshield, exemption letter or not, I would pull your plates and send you packing in a tow truck, because you wouldn't be on the road with me. Every officer is going to look at that differently, and they may say, "Well, we understand that you have sensitive eyes, but we don't want you to wear sunglasses because, God forbid, that would be difficult." And I understand there's also skin conditions that make you very sensitive to light. It's a difficult situation, but there is no medical exemption. So unless you live somewhere else, where do you live? Are you in a province that does have an exemption? Let me know. User whose name I can't pronounce because there's all sorts of different. It's Haji maybe, says, "Hi, I got a question. Should G1 license holder drive with the driver have 4 years Canadian experience?" You have to be the supervising G-class driver who is supervising you must be recognized in Canada, in Ontario, as having 4 years driving experience. That experience starts when they get their G2 and continues until they've accumulated 4 years experience and a G. So here's what the test is. Have them take out their driver's license, have them look at the bottom right-hand corner of the driver's license beside the mini-me photo. There are 4 vertical dots. And if those vertical dots to the left of the mini-me photo aren't there, they are not qualified to supervise you as a G1 driver in Ontario. Period. If they have the dots, they're qualified. So use the dots. If the dots aren't there, don't drive with them, because you're going to be eligible for a ticket for $110. You're going to get a 30-day suspension on your license if you break the rules. It's just a bad day at the office. Plimsoll Punk Ryan. Plimsoll Punk Ryan says, "Hi, Sean. I was wondering, do you think people in $60,000 vehicles will ever figure out that a $6 phone holder is safer and more affordable option than a $600 ticket for holding their phone in their hand?" Oh my God. I cannot get over the number of people in high-end luxury vehicles. I mean, Rolls Royce, never mind 60,000, we're talking $600,000. And I drive beside them and I look in and I'm like, I can't believe you're on your phone. And they're not all texting. Some of them are just talking, and they're idiots. I mean, what is going on? I agree with you that is safer. $6 phone holder not only makes it, well, Bluetooth. Who needs a holder? I mean, yes, you need a holder in order to touch it at all, to answer or hang up. But why can't you just press the button when it's like in your glove box? And a lot of these luxury vehicles have chargers in the glove box, like they're designed, and maybe that's why they can't find. Anyway, people are people, and they're always shocking and annoying. Some of them are expensive drivers, expensive vehicle drivers, and it's shocking and annoying. And some of them are just old crap boxes that are shocking and annoying. But the problem is, it's the people who are shocking and annoying. The cars are usually awesome. Okay, moving on. Thanks for asking the question, Ryan. I recognize the photo after I started staring close in. We got a motorcycle. I think motorcycle instructor on the air. All right, what do we got here? I know you probably answered this, but is it true that you don't need to go to a post-secondary anymore? It's Eric M asking the question, and the answer is you never really needed to go to post-secondary. It has always been a factor that gets you higher on the scoreboard. So if you have a post-secondary education and you are applying and you're competing against someone without post-secondary education, you get more points. And if it's down to the two of you, the person with the uni education might get it over you. But it's not a requirement. And right now, there's so few people applying for policing positions that you might just, not even have someone to compete against. Yeah, it's not required. And not only is it not required, the provincial government turned around and said, we're taking that requirement, because there were some police services that had it, I guess. They took it away from everybody and said grade 12 is the minimum. They also said we're going to pay for, or what is it? It's going to be a grant. You basically don't have to pay for the Ontario Provincial Police or the Ontario Police College in Elmer, Ontario, which is where all police in Ontario have to attend. And I had to pay for it. Everyone before had to pay for it, and everyone up until this change had to pay for it. And we're talking about $15,000. I paid for it. I got a loan. I think it was $8,000 or $10,000 when I went through. I don't recall. You paid for it, and it came off my paycheck for years. You invest in your future. Now, The public invests in your future. It's a bonus. It's effectively a $15,000 signing bonus. All right, we got that. We got that. And oh, just another thing for Haji, the question about the 4 years driving experience. If someone's coming from another country and becomes an Ontario licensed driver and they say they have experience and can prove it up to certain numbers, they can prove without paperwork, or they can get credit without paperwork. For a longer history, you have to have actual certified documents from your country of origin or wherever you were licensed. And if they have that experience from another country and it's applied to their license here, then it qualifies. But again, if the dots aren't there, it don't do diddly. What do we got here? Eric says, who's he responding to? Because it's a funny response. I want to go back. Oh, why is driving a privilege when you require it to make a living or income? That's from Yug Gray. You Gray? Okay. And what Eric said was, take a bus, bike, walk. Believe it or not, people made money before cars. Hells yes. Driving is a privilege and it's a costly one. And I will tell you that the people who live downtown and don't have cars are effectively putting money in their pockets because it costs about $1,000 a month, a nut that you don't have to cover if you don't drive. Now, getting your license is great, and it gives you opportunities. Like, you have to be a licensed driver to be employed as a member of the Toronto Police Service who is performing a function that requires a car, like parking enforcement or tow truck driver, because tow truck, and then and police officer. Those all require driving. Special constable, same thing. If you don't drive, you can't apply for that job. You have to have a G-class license. So it does provide you opportunity, but it's a privilege because if you don't conform to the rules, if you don't take the test and training, you just don't get to do it. So it's incumbent on you to do things. I have an amateur radio certificate. That means that if I want to use the amateur radio bands in the radio spectrum, I need to get a license. I have to study and do testing, or I don't get the privilege of utilizing the service. If I want to be a surgeon, I mean, it goes on. If you want to do stuff, you got to get qualified to do stuff, and it's a privilege that can be taken away if you screw it up. I was going to say something else, but I said screw it up. Nicholas Rizzi is finally here. What's going on, my friend? Haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you. I was thinking about you last night. And Bush Outdoors Canada joined. Sean Bush, seller of marathon watches and a friend of mine, popped in. So hello to you. All right, let's go on. Let's see what is going on. What do we do? We have technically someone can have a G so 2 Easy B58 says technically someone can have a G without 4 years dots because they had their G2 and now G. Yes. A G without dots means that they are not someone who has 4 years experience in total, or they had suspensions, the math didn't add up. So if they just got the G and they don't qualify, they don't get the dots. Okay. Dylan says there's a medical exemption for tints. If you pulled my plate, watch the lawsuit. It's prescribed by doctor. There is. I don't have access. I'm no longer a police officer. It says former police officer under my name, so I can't pull your plates. If you want to DM me, send me your stuff. I'll get someone to confirm that you have a status for the science of investigating what this exemption is. Like, what jurisdiction are you in? But doctors can write all sorts of notes. Doesn't make it an actual exemption. Now, you said you have a lawsuit, so you might have case law that in your situation you had a doctor saying you could do it, but that doesn't mean that the law says you have an exemption. The laws don't say exemption. If you have some weird stuff that happened because of case law, then you have maybe cracked the code, but yeah, it doesn't change the law. And I know there's case law to support that. Anyway, there's laws and then there's case laws. It's two different things. What else we got? Why does Canada give? Well, this is a racist statement, so we'll just leave the race out of it. Why does Canada give some people licenses without any tests or anything? Well, first of all, they're trying to suggest people of a certain origin get licenses without tests. That's not the case. And your question is framed in a way that targets a particular group of people. And that's why I say it's racist. When the truth is, if you're coming from the United States, a country, you can trade your American license for an Ontario one. Straight trade. If you were coming from the UK, a country which has people of all faiths, colors, backgrounds, if you have a UK license, you can come to Canada and get a straight trade. It's not about the faith or background. It's about the reciprocal agreement and standard of law and driving. That's why someone gets a license or doesn't get a license when they come here. It's not that they just get a license for saying, "Hi, I'm from wherever this person says they are, and I want a license today." And they say, "Why? Why? Yes, you can have one because of your color of your skin." Is essentially what that person suggested. Anyway, yeah, okay, moving on. Eric says because they take tests like everybody else. Sometimes now there are situations, and I'll tell you a story. I had a young man who was a Canadian citizen. He was an Ontarian, and he went overseas. I think it was to Thailand. It was somewhere where he lived for a period of time, got a license, came back with a full license from there, and because he skipped the graduated licensing program because he had a full license there. When he came back, he had a full license given to him because he was a fully licensed driver in another jurisdiction where there was a reciprocal agreement. Again, I don't know for certain the country. It was a long time ago. Now, he tried to tell me when he was getting a ticket for driving straight through King Street where it says no straight through. He says, well, in his defense, his own defense, he's licensed from somewhere else and he didn't know it was against the law to do that. And my question to him was, do they not have signs in that country that say no straight through? And then we Googled it and they do. And then he shut up and took his ticket. It was a bull crap excuse for breaking the law. But I thought it was hilarious because the reason that the license exchange works is because the laws or signage and basic rules are the same. All right, moving on. What do we got here? Can you become an officer without a driver's license? No. Oddly enough, we covered that already, but even before I answered the question or read the question. Oh, come on. Again with the racism. Hang on. I'll read that later. Okay. So I wish I was, what is this? I wish I was Sam. I don't know what the heck that says. Okay. So he says his Porsche payment is $2,800. I don't drive a Porsche. And I'm being reasonable when I say I own the vehicle outright and I still pay $1,000 a month for gas and for insurance, between it's driving. I own the vehicle, so I don't pay for that. But $2,800 for the Porsche, you're doing well. if you can drop 2,800 and before you have an insurance, you're probably like, what do you, with gas and everything, you're probably at $4,000. I'm assuming. Now I want to know. The problem was they were trying to remove my license with no due cause. Should I get a lawyer? Why were you losing your license and what no due cause? If you are stunt driving and you get charged, you lose your license for 30 days. That's not without due cause. That's an administrative penalty based on the fact that you're given a license based on your agreement to follow the laws. And if you don't follow the laws, there's an administrative penalty before you even get to court because everybody else screws around. But by all means, go get a court. Their industry needs to make money too. Too Easy B58 says, Rock hit my car from truck. Why do they not put net over when they're crashing rocks? They have to put a net over. It doesn't catch everything, but they're required to. If they don't put on that net over their truck, it is the magical insecure load and they're eligible. So there you go. Okay, moving on. Hey, do you remember me from a few days ago? My fingers and Gopi Rai. I have no idea. Huh? No, he's trying to say something stupid. I don't know who Gopi is. There's also the dialogue there. Okay. Then Z has silly questions. We'll skip Z. Z's got to go. Ty Thurston. Hang on one second. I saw your message pop up. Let me quickly just go into here and get rid of the silly person who's making silly comments. Rude. Hang on one second. Ask a traffic cop. The other channel, which is really just a moderator channel at this point. Okay. Gotta turn this on. Stand by. Oh. Z, how many? 8 followers. Z, most people who are spammers don't have more than one. So I commend you for actually getting 8 followers. But bye-bye. They are banned. They'll go and create a new account now and have 1 follower and come back. All right. So let's see here. They said they only have. Okay, we're going back. We're going back. I want to see. We got a little rocky for a second, but we'll be back. I want to see what he says about the Porsche and from you gray. Okay. What do we got here? All right, catching up. Sorry, I scrolled back too far. I screwed it up. Oh, Gopi says he drinks and drives all the time. That's dumb and illegal. So don't do that. You got to scroll back and find one more person. Can I find one person? I want to find. There we go. Another troll. Goodbye, Gopi. See ya. I need to get a full-time moderator. I do not have a full-time moderator. All right, scrolling. Now we have. So you Gray says, I have no moving violations. Not following. Who is going to take your license then if you have no moving violations? And I wish I was Maple. C8. Oh, so you got I was going to say C8 is going to be a vet. Okay, I have a 2019 Porsche 911 gets 2020 BMW and a 223. Okay, so you have a vet too. That's a nice collection. Todd says, is it lawful to exit the vehicle during a traffic stop? It depends. If you're given direction to stay in the vehicle and you need to follow the directions of the police officer, it's unsafe to get on the road. Police officers are going to be responsible for you, so they're going to keep you in that car. Why would you want to get out? It escalates situations, could be incredibly dangerous. So do what the officer says. Don't, unless they tell you to get out of the car for reasons of the investigation, stay in the car. It amps things up. I wish I was a Maple. C8 says, Sean, the Porsche insurance is only $2,500 a year, but you also have multiple vehicles. So if you have one vehicle, the Porsche would probably be more expensive, but $2,500 is reasonable. But I was going to say $2,500 plus $2,800. So you're over. Yeah. So $2,500 a year. I was going a month. Okay. Still in gas. Come on. Either way, nice car. I love Porsches. Okay. Don't need to show off anymore. Gotcha. So sick of being, what is this? So sick of driving 5 kilometers an hour because a cyclist won't move over for me, and I have cars on the other side. I agree. Cyclists need to stay to the right as required by law, unless it's unsafe to do so. They have to stay to the right unless the road is uneven or unsafe, and that for that period they can take over the whole lane for safety. But they have to go back to the right afterwards. So yeah, it's infuriating when somebody is so selfish as to take the whole lane when they shouldn't. Blazin' Liz followed the host. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate you. Hey, if you're watching and you're watching on TikTok, please like and follow. If you tap that screen, did I not block that person? I meant to block them. Did I still block them? No. I muted them anyway. Okay. There was one more button and then I pressed the wrong button. Anyway, so it's a thing. Okay. M Devo says, morning to you. What do we got here? Oh, is it illegal to drive with headphones on? That's Wayo who wants to know. And it's not illegal in Ontario, but it could be illegal in other provinces. So if you're wearing in Ontario both headphones, perfectly legal. Not necessarily the best choice, but it is legal. Brandon says, fun fact, Orange County Sheriff patrols Disney parks. Yes, and most of the officers working in the front are actually reserve officers, but they have full-time officers there too. The whole concept of a reserve officer is awesome. Wish we had that in Ontario. Now we have auxiliaries. Auxiliaries are not reserve. Auxiliaries are volunteers. They have auxiliary officers too, but reserves are qualified police officers that have full powers of arrest and can work paid duties, but they also do some volunteer time in addition to be reserved. They're not full-time. So what a great concept that is in the States. And you can go work at Disney as a reserve, which I would totally do because I love Disney. Okay. Even it's standing around in the heat. What is this? We'll flag this for a question for later. How hard is the civil service exam? Well, we don't have a civil service exam. We have entrance exams for police services. They're standardized testing, and I don't know how hard the civil service exam is by you, because I'm assuming you're in the States, but it is challenging for some and not for others. I wrote it and passed it. So what does that mean? Someone says, no, what does my shirt say? It says you're on mute. It is a reason. This is actually an Ecamm shirt. They emailed me and gave me a shirt, but the Ecamm is what I use for all the when I hit the button and graphics come up. This is Ecamm. I use it for. You can use it for streaming. I use it in conjunction with Restream, but I do like Ecamm. It is awesomeness. And why is Ty asking repeatedly how hard is a civil service exam? He probably doesn't realize I'm multi-streaming on multiple platforms because we're on LinkedIn, Instagram, X, TikTok, YouTube, all that. All that. He says, we got Nicholas who says, I don't like that you're getting more silly questions than me. It's like you don't need me anymore. Silly questions are from everywhere. Okay. Just check on the Instagram. No, we're good. What else we got? Oh, Wayo says this. Oh, yeah, we said that. Todd says Roger, but I don't know what he was responding to. Can you get a ticket for eating while driving? If it could be careless driving if you're doing more eating than driving, because you've got to be responsible for the movement of your vehicle. If you're doing stuff that makes it dangerous, regardless of whether you're picking your nose or anything, like reorganizing your wallet. I've seen it all. That could be careless if you're all over the road. It's not eating. There's no charge for eating while driving in Ontario, but you can get distracted driving charges for eating while driving or drinking water while driving in BC. That's a thing. M. Devo says, I have an edit to my previous question from a few months ago. They said Keele and North Park Drive, southbound. There's 2 no left turn signs, 1 white and 1 yellow. What does this mean? They ran out of white paint. Well, the white and black sign are regulated. The yellow sign, it could be a high vis sign that they've added, but it's not the regulated color. I don't think that particular one is enforceable. The fact that there's 2 of them there, one could be the warning, one could be the regulation. Maybe they added one without getting the lawful. I'm speculating here because as far as I know, the yellow sign is not regulated under the Highway Traffic Act. If they're both visible, if they're both visible from the same place at the same time, the white one is the one they're going to ticket for. If one is not visible and the other one is, then you might be able to argue stuff. Todd says, I was just wondering, but I don't see Roger. And then where I'm going to scroll back and see if I can find Todd's question because I don't. Oh, is it lawful to? Oh, we talked about that. Okay, he wanted to know if he could. He was just wondering about getting out of the vehicle. GK says, 2-way stop. Is it person going right has right of way or who arrived first? So first to arrive is first to drive, period. First to arrive is first to drive. If it's up for debate because you showed up at the same time as the person to the right, but eventually everyone's to the right, right? So someone's got to go first and someone's got to go second. Simple as that. And my friend Scott Marshall, he's the safe driver. He's a former judge from Canada's Worst Driver. He says it best. He says right of way is something you give, you don't take. So if there's a question, give it to the other person, let them go. I'm a firm believer that the extra 10 seconds could save your life and avoid conflict, and it's worth it. But if no one's making a decision because we're all being Canadian, going, you go, no, you go, no, you go, then someone needs to go, and that could be you. Be a big person and do the thing you got to do. But generally speaking, first to arrive, first to drive. I wish I was Maple C8 says, Sean, I will mod for you. I thought your wife was the mod when you were at OPP. I was never at OPP. I was at Toronto Police. But yes, my wife was moderating for me, but she is not currently moderating. Some of the moderating actually stresses her out because some people say some really disgusting crap. And while I rarely acknowledge the disgusting crap that is said, it was bothering her. And I suggested that she step away from moderating because whether it be racist, sexist, making comments about her, even though they have no idea who she is, it was just aggravating. And you don't need aggravation in this game. Here to help people, not hurt people, and the people that are trolling and causing that kind of stuff. If it impacts you as a as a streamer or as a online personality or as a moderator to do it, then you shouldn't do it because it's not worth taking, that or adding that kind of stress to your life. So that's it. And Tracy's magical. I wonder if I can. I'm happy to add you guys as. Let me see if I can add you as moderators from here. See, the problem is I'm in. Let's just do a quick little test. Let me see what's going on. Can I get out of here? How do I get out of here? We go. Stand by. I might be able to add moderators. The issue. Here we go. Hopefully this doesn't screw it up. And if I lose the live right now, that is being not. Maybe I wait 20 minutes. No, I'm feeling like I need to do the experiment. No, I can't do it. It doesn't work. I'm in my account, and that's the only place that I can do a live. And I think the only time I can add moderators is if I'm live streaming from my phone, which is why I can't just do it so easily. So okay, the experiment's over. I can't add moderators while I'm live without live streaming from my phone. Okay, we did the experiment and it failed. So stand by. Back in. Okay. If we do a live stream, I might just do a live stream in 10 minutes or right after I go off the air. I'll end the show, come back on, and if you jump in, I'll knight you as moderators. Okay, Tracy says, usually cops marry cops. So I wish I was Maple CA. It says usually cops marry cops. Just wondering. Many cops do. It's not a usually thing. I think that it happens often because people tend to get into relationships with people they think they can relate to or understand. And obviously, two cops understand the same life. And if you were to marry or be with someone who is not a cop, then you censor yourself and you don't share information because you don't want to have all that unload of high stress stuff. It can negatively impact the relationship. But many, if not the majority, do not marry police. All right, GK says, what's your view? Should people be allowed to buy used police cars, unmarked ones? But a police car is just a car. It shouldn't be marked. That would be weird. But at the same time, if you're impersonating a police officer, one thing. But an unmarked Ford Ford Explorer is a Ford Explorer. There's nothing police about it. Okay, one second. I just got a picture from my friend Akela, who's sending me a picture of what the heck is that? That's the yellow sign. And what is that? I see the North Park Road 2 signs. Why are there 2 signs at the same location? 7. Oh, it's AM and PM. So it looks like there's 2 times. I think they just screwed up. I think the second sign is just I don't know what that is. I do not know why those are. Is it faded? Maybe it's a faded one. Like I see the yellowing. Is that intentionally yellow? Interesting. I'm glad I got to see that. Upper Moon says, "Oh my God, you're still alive from last night." No, I have a different shirt on, and I went to sleep in between. But it's too funny. That would be really, really horrible. Okay, so yeah, people buying unmarked police cars are just driving cars. Some of them have the lights on, but there's nothing else that makes it a police car other than the upgraded suspension and coolant system. And yeah, hey, it's Basharat Ali, my buddy from Pakistan, who is on saying, hello, Sir Sean, awesome background. Thank you very much. It's been a while since I've seen you. I was actually thinking about you a couple of days ago because I never hooked up with your friend. Basharat sent me a retirement gift a year ago, and we never managed to connect with with his friend who he sent it to, because Basharat is a traffic officer in Punjab, Pakistan. So he and I have communicated. In fact, I was going to he invited me to come to the opening of his new station in Pakistan, but I couldn't go. Let's see here. I wish I was Maple 18. I wish I was Maple CA. It says, tell your wife the world of people are harsh and always tough when not in front of you. 100%. We'd have that conversation. Can you get pulled over doing 130 on the highway? Yeah, because you're speeding. 130 is 30 over in most places, 20 over in others, and illegal in both scenarios. So yeah, you can get pulled over, and yeah, get charged. And yeah, you should, because it's illegal. It's dangerous. If the speed limit is 100 to 100, that's what you're supposed to do. And people who say, you'll never get pulled over for 20 over. I got TikTok videos recorded. I store these things. I have little collections of fun videos where people are freaking out. I can't believe the cop pulled me over. Everyone's doing 20 over. How come he pulled me over? It must be racism. It must be sexism. It must be whatever it is. You're breaking the law and you're eligible. Does everyone who speed and breaks the law get pulled over? No. Should they? Yeah, I think we should have electronic enforcement. I think we should have cameras on the 401. And when someone does 5, 10 over, they should get a ticket because they're breaking the bloody law. I don't know why it's such a. I have to get all tough about that because, and do I really give a crap about 10 over? No, I don't. I don't. Everyone does 10 over. Could you get a ticket? Yeah. And if you get a ticket, should you complain? No, because you were doing 10 over. And you should take that ticket and you should pay it. And you should decide whether you want to get another ticket and have your insurance go up next time, because your insurance can go up or will go up for 10 over and 20 over and 30 over. Yeah. Bopadu Junie Bug says, I love the yellow police cars. Always made me feel safe when I saw them. I agree with you. I grew up with the yellow police cars, and I grew up with, I'm 50. So I had all sorts of police cars on the road when I was a kid. I remember Blinky coming to my school. Yeah. Here's the deal. They stopped using, or maybe rather than telling you, do you know why they stopped the yellow police car? Aside from the fact that everyone thought that they were taxis, New Yorkers would open up the back of a police car and get in and go, take me to the Marriott Hotel. And then they'd have to explain that you just got into a police car. And it was funny from what I'm told. I wouldn't have enjoyed it. But the deal is that they changed the color and got rid of the yellow cars because there was a tremendous high level of lead in the paint. And it wasn't because police officers were getting lead poisoning from driving. It was from the people who were spray painting the cars that were getting lead poisoning, and high levels of lead are bad. It takes a long time, if ever, for your body to expel the lead. I know a guy that was very active at our shooting range, a civilian shooting range, and he had to stop reloading and stop working the range because his lead levels were too high. Master Falls 324 says, what's your opinion on the 2011 Crown Vic? Love the Crown Vics. It was my favorite police car, most comfortable. It was awesomeness. It was very sad for them to get rid of them. I would take that over the Exploder every day, any day. But I wish I was Sample C8 says, big, bulky, and handle like dirt. Let's see here. He says, fun to drift. I'm a mechanic and we service all our local RCMP cars. Oh, very nice. Oh, I'm very sorry, Jess. Well, and I'm pretty sure he put Pakistan in his profile as opposed to Punjab, India. I'm pretty sure he put, when he described where he's from, I'm pretty sure he put Punjab, Pakistan. Unless I may have actually added, anyway. If I screwed that up, my apologies to all. But thank you for calling me out. Even if I don't know, I have to go back and look at the archives. I'm sure he said he was from Punjab, Pakistan. Now I really, 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 really want to look at that. No, Punjab, Pakistan shows up when you search it. So, population of over 127 million is the most populous province in Pakistan. So, yeah, I apparently I was not wrong. Which you really had me going for a second. Okay, GK says, if you don't have a shoulder to pull over, you can switch to the right lane and keep driving slow. If you're being pulled over, pull over, regardless of whether there's a shoulder. Police are directing you to pull over. Not failing to pull over is an offense. If they have to block the lane to pull you over, they're choosing to do that. Ignoring the lights and sirens is bad. What is this? Nicholas says, I asked real questions above. I hope you get to them. I will. I got 11 minutes and I will. Okay. What else we got? Is taking your license plate off in a parking lot illegal? To take photos? No, it's not illegal. You're not driving on the road, and there's nothing wrong with doing it. And you're there to explain why you're doing it if you were investigated. It might be sus, but it's not illegal. The reason they don't have front plates in BC and not Alberta is because of the position of traffic cameras? I'm not sure where we're going with that. If someone is not using turn signal to get into the lane that you are in, what can you do? Nothing. You don't allow them to cause a collision. Don't cause a collision by being ornery. Just let them in, signal or not. Their choice to do the right thing or wrong thing is for them to answer to. If you're doing the but yeah, just do your best not to be in a collision. Now, ultimately, if they change lanes not in safety without signaling and cause a collision, it's on them. They're the one who's responsible. And that's where I say get a dash camera. Everyone should have a dash camera. I have links to my favorite dash camera on the Ask a Traffic Cop uh, page of things. If you go to askatrafficcop.ca, there's links. I have Amazon links if you want to buy them. They're a little expensive because it's a high-end dash camera, but I have a lower priced one that I also recommend. It's there, and if you buy it from the website, the Better Traffic or the Canadian Organization for Better Traffic Safety and Education does make a commission, which is how we will maybe one day make it like $5. I don't think we've made any money on this, but I keep saying it. I keep hoping that if someone's going to make a purchase on Amazon and they were going to buy something anyway, use the links because it doesn't cost you any more. How can we create a petition to get rid of front plates? There was already a move to get rid of front plates, and it was by the premier when he got elected. He says, "I'm getting rid of it. It's half price. And we one plate instead of two. We're going to save all sorts of money." And then they went to the chief of the Canadian Association. No, it was the provincial association, the Ontario Association of Chiefs of Police, and said, "We want to do this." And they said, "Don't do this because it's not safer. We need to be able to identify people." Okay. What happens if you get caught on the highway with a G1? If you're on a controlled access highway that has a speed limit over 80 kilometers an hour, you're in violation of a condition of your G1, and you'll get a ticket for driving in violation. And it's $110, and you're going to get a 30-day suspension on conviction for the first time, a 90-day conviction, a 90-day suspension on your second conviction, and on your third conviction, you'll get kicked out of the driver's license program. And that goes for any major violation under your G1. Like if you have something that triggers a suspension, like if you get a ticket for 4 points, careless driving, that's 6 points. You're going to get a suspension and you're on conviction in addition to whatever else you get. BJ followed the host. That's me. I appreciate the follow. BJ says, "Do you think photo radar will come to Ontario on the highways again?" I really hope it does. It was originally managed by police. I don't think it'll come back by police. The technology's changed. It used to be film cameras, like camera cameras, 35 millimeter, I think, set up, not video. And I think that the systems that they come will be entirely electronic and managed just like the ones on every road. And I think they should be on every road. We shouldn't have the opportunity to break the law. It just creates bad driving. If you want to drive, you drive within the law. And we can also do things like geofenced management. We can make it so your car cannot go faster. I mean, it's technology that's not currently deployed, but I think it would be very effective. And at the end of the day, why do we need to have you go faster than what is lawful? Okay. Okay. Is zipper merging legal or illegal? Zipper merging isn't only legal, it is what you're supposed to do. Not zipper merging just means you're a bad driver. Zipper merging, we talked about it at length last night. Look at the zipper on your pants. It's one and then the other. That's how the teeth of the zipper change lanes. So when you change lanes, it should be right at the end of the lane. So you're driving up, you come in and you link, and then everybody falls into place. What people do now is they go, here's the end of the lane. They go, I'm going to stop here. And then all traffic stops behind them. It's stupid not the zipper lane, but people get really, really silly about it. They go, I don't want someone passing me and getting 5 car lengths in front of me because that makes them better than me. Or who do they think they are? They showed up late to the party. They shouldn't be allowed to go in front of me. I'm in line. Don't bud. No, don't be a jackass. Let people zipper merge because it's the right way to do it. Now, I will say this. If there's a giant gap and you can safely move over, just move over where it is. That's not, you don't have to zipper merge. It's not a requirement. It's just smarter, better driving, more efficient, and prevents traffic jams. If you can safely move in because there's a giant gap, use the giant gap. No one's going to judge you, or you shouldn't be judged. But if you're the jackass that's blocking a lane and everybody else is sitting on the main road trying to get on the highway because you're insistent on getting in the first inch of the lane on the highway instead of doing the nearly 500 meters of lane to have, not to zipper merge, like, okay, give yourself your head a shake. Come on. Yeah. What is this? We got time, 6 minutes left. Master. Oh, what is that called? Oh, okay. But you, here we go. Where we go? MK7, we got that. sliding here. Okay, what's someone failing? Would you pull someone over for failing to stop when leaving a private parking lot? Potentially, yeah, because you are required by law to yield from private drive to the traffic on the road. And if you're crossing a sidewalk or entering the road safely, you got to come to a stop. Absolutely. Would it if it didn't cause any issue? Would I do it? Not necessarily. We got here. What if you drive without a parent with you, G1? Not just a parent. If you drive without a qualified driver, just because you have a parent doesn't make them qualified to supervise you. If you are driving G1 unaccompanied without a qualified G-class driver in the passenger seat who's legally able to drive, doesn't have alcohol in their system over the limit, you're going to get a $110 ticket for a G1 drive unaccompanied. In addition to that, you can't drive. The car's got to get towed, or you got to get a qualified driver. But if you're in the middle of the road, the police will likely force you to tow it. The person who let you drive the car is going to get charged as well for letting someone who's not qualified to drive the car. And if you took it without permission, then it's a criminal charge for drive without consent or take vehicle without consent. So it's a really dumb thing to do. How long does driving with a suspended license charge stay on your record? A driving conviction stays on your record for 3 years from the perspective of the insurance company. But will it stay on your record forever? Yeah, because you can see anything that's ever been charged from police. The police can see it. The government can see it. What's a ticket for no front plate? $110. Would you pull someone over? We talked about that. If you try not to let someone get in line from zipper merge, would you get a ticket? So you're not allowed to prevent someone from getting into a lane. I mean, you cannot actively block someone. It's stunt driving. If you're just being a dick, though, like both people have to be smart enough to know that if one person's being silly, don't engage. Let's just go to the next one. Like, not a big deal. But if you're actively like preventing someone from changing lanes, it's stunt driving. So yeah, it's a thing. Theoretically, it's illegal if my front plate is on my dashboard. Yes, not theoretically, it's absolutely illegal. You have to have your front plate displayed lawfully. If it's in your window, it's not lawful, and it's a $110 ticket. It's also dangerous. It's the Ontario Shuriken. It's like a ninja star. In the event of a collision, it's a bad day at the office for you. In my lifetime, I got one ticket. Cop pulled me over for 12 a.m. going 72 and a 60 in a 1 kilometer speed limit. Was it what? Oh, okay. You got one ticket for that? Okay. If you're not listed as a driver in the insurance, would you be able to drive if your parents give consent? If you're a licensed driver, you can drive the car if it's that. Yeah. Sarah says, good morning, sir, and salutes. Thank you, Sarah. It's good to see you again. They were in last night too. All right, let's back it up and see what I missed, because there's a whole bunch of stuff from Nicholas Rizzi, and we'll do dad jokes, and then we'll wrap up the show. I'll be back Tuesday at 9 p.m. to do Ask a Traffic Cop after dark, and then back again next Wednesday for another 10 a.m. episode, if all goes well. What is the greatest lesson you learned on the force that they didn't teach you in the police academy? I should have used the last half an hour just to ponder how I would answer this question, because that is deep. I don't know. I honest to God don't know what the greatest lesson you learned on the force that they didn't teach you in police academy. I don't have a good answer out of the box for that. I learned so much of who I am is from lessons on the police service, but 25 years in various capacities as a member of the, I've learned a ton of things. Actually, you know what? One of the best things I learned was how to say no. You wouldn't believe how hard it is to say no to somebody. I mean, you say no every day, but have you ever had to say no to a suspect who wants an extra cheese sandwich and there's 70 people in a cell? Because I was a court officer. One of the hardest things to say was, no, you can't have an extra sandwich. And all you want to do is say, yeah, it's just a cheese sandwich. Who cares? But there's 70 people in there that will all want a cheese sandwich extra if you say yes. So you have to say no. Otherwise, it's going to be mayhem. And if he gets an extra sandwich, someone in that cell is probably going to thump his lights out because he got an extra cheese sandwich. And then you got to explain. Anyway, learning how to say no was a serious deal. Can you hire someone else to do your paperwork or take on high school co-op student to do your paperwork? For example, you shoot someone, not your problem. It's the co-op's problems now, saving time for you to go on and do other things. I like where you're going with this, but no, you're responsible for your own stuff. Back in the day, before I was a cop, I was still on the job, but in another capacity, they had telephone reports. You would call in and dictate your notes to make a report. They didn't write themselves. And then with the introduction of computers, then they started doing them themselves. I don't know which one was better. Okay. We talked about that. We saw this time. What do we got? Time ranges. Scrolling. So okay. Nicholas says, let's say we live in a world where everyone obeys the traffic laws. Traffic fines are non-existent. What would that do to our country? Would our taxes be higher, lower? Since now cops have more time to focus on crimes and more cops to stop other crimes. If you actually took the component of traffic safety and said, we've solved it, it's perfect. Like, for instance, if all vehicles were autonomous and there was never another crash and pedestrians never got hurt, all of that would be a tremendous reduction in the costs of maintaining a city. And would we get a reduction in taxes? Let's get real. They'd still take your money. They just make more programs for babysitting or from free crap for somebody who shouldn't have it. But that's just me being salty. But it would be wonderful because, yes, police could focus on other things. And I will tell you that police are already focusing on most other things, and traffic safety is taking a back seat. They're not doing programs like I was doing when I was there. They don't have the resources to do it. I was an injured officer who couldn't go on the road. I was able to sit in front of a camera for 8 to 10 hours a day and answer questions and make video content. And that's not the case anymore. They have to go and put their resources to the stuff that's being dealt with, and they have fewer cops to put out doing the traffic stuff, so they're investigating collisions instead of being as proactive doing enforcement, other than groups like Vision Zero enforcement team that are dedicated enforcement groups, but they're a small group in the scheme of things. And the priority is on all the other criminal stuff, because we have douchebags out on the road and I mean on the road, because douchebags drive, and I mean criminals. That's what I'm calling a douchebag. I'm going to stop saying douchebag now. The deal is that if they could focus on crime instead of the traffic, we would see a reduction in crime. I'm sure of it. We'd be able to put more resources, but they're already taking those resources because crime is a problem. It's a problem. All right. GK says, your voice is soothing. Take care. Thanks. My dad's being ticketed for 5 over. Yes, 5 over is illegal. I wouldn't give a 5 over ticket unless you were in a 30-kilometer-an-hour zone. If you're doing 5 over and a 30, I think you're good for a ticket. Laws about underglow, it's not specifically illegal. It depends on how it's installed. I talked about it last night. Rather than get into it now because I don't have the time, because we're already over the hour and I'm late for a meeting, means that you should go check out yesterday's episode. It's available on YouTube. It's also available on your favorite podcast app, Apple Podcasts, all the other ones. Okay. Quick dad jokes, and I'm really late for a meeting. Dad joke one. My coworker asked me if I could stop signing Wonderwall all the time. I said, maybe. Singing Wonderwall. I said signing. The joke is, my coworker asked me if I could stop singing Wonderwall all the time. I said, maybe. I don't get it. Is there a joke there? I don't get it. And if and spell it out for me if I missed it, but I don't get it. I like Wonderwall. I'm thinking back to the lyrics. I can't think of the lyrics. Knock, knock joke. Who's there? Knock, knock. Who's there? Mikey. Mikey who? Mikey is lost. Can you let me in? I begrudgingly give it a rim shot. I'm not a big dad joke guy. Dad joke. Sorry, I'm not a big knock knock joke, but guy. But dad joke guy I like. Where do rainbows go when they're very bad? Prism. They go to Prism. It's a light sentence. My 6-year-old daughter lined up all her dolls near the outdoor grill. Looks like she's preparing some kind of barbecue. Kind of funny. What did the ocean say to the shore? Nothing. It just waved. What 2 meals does Vin Diesel eat every day? Break fast and break furious. That's actually very good. Okay. That is it. That is all I got to go and jump into my meeting late. By the way, if you weren't here yesterday, you didn't see what I 3D printed. Look at this. I 3D printed this. That's crazy. The colors were wrong, but what a awesome 3D print, giant 3D print in color. I like it. Okay, that's it. That's all. I will be back Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time for another Ask a Traffic Cop After Dark. I'll be doing that on Tuesday in a week. It's a week. And then on Wednesday, 10 a.m., we'll do it again. Maybe even I'll reach out to Jerry Agar, see if we do a little thing with him. All right. Oh, yeah, I got to jump back on real quick to connect with Tracy and my Porsche friend. All right.